Hey, y'all, listen. It's Saturday Night Trending Topics, and yes, it is late. The diva was running the street. I had some things to take care of, but you know what? The train is pulling out late, but it's still pulling out the building. If you coming in the door, do me a favor, hit that like button, okay? Hit the like button. It's Saturday night. We got 4 days before Christmas, okay? 4 days before Christmas, and I had to run the street and get some things and do some things, but I'm here. And we got stuff to talk about. When I tell you this title is called A Hot Mess, it's a hot, flaming, stinking, nasty mess. A hot, flaming, stinking, nasty mess. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And why do I say that? I didn't really know Blake Lively as an actress like that, okay? But I did a video earlier where I said I really liked the movie It Ends With Us. But that movie apparently caused so much controversy. And it's kind of ironic because she is now suing her co-star. They was both the main characters in It Ends With Us. She is now suing him for sexual harassment. And the movie was about domestic violence. So it's kind of ironic that you have a co-star that probably was really close in character to the character he played in the movie. She's accusing him of some stuff, a smear campaign against her name, and we're going to call it retaliation because she complained about stuff that was happening on the set, and she has the receipts, as the people like to say. The receipts where he worked with someone else, publicist, to destroy her name in the public. But in addition to that, she's saying that he was watching her closely during scenes where she didn't have no clothes on. He added more, he wanted to add more sex scenes to the script after she signed on and had already agreed to the script the way it was. And he kept sneaking in extra kisses during the movie. It's nasty. It is nasty. And listen, his agency, when she filed that suit, dropped him. You know what, Magical Mermaid? I never watched Gossip Girl. I know I'm probably one of the only people, but I did not watch Gossip Girl. And you want to know what's crazy too? And I love Kerry Washington. I didn't watch Scandal in real time. I only seen a few episodes here and there, and maybe half of a season. Good, Lakeisha, these men are something else. What's 50 Cent's big series that everybody watch? I didn't even watch that either. Yeah, Lexi Lane, it was a good movie. Who would have known that all of this stuff went down as a result of that movie? So Blake Lively is suing. He's doing the thing that you're supposed to do these days. Deny. Yeah, Power, Katrina. I didn't watch Power like that. And so he's denying but his agency already dropped him. Whoo, child. Listen, 2024, just when we thought we was going to close out, what do we have? 10 days? 10 days left in 2024, and we can't seem to get out of 2024 without an SA, a SH, or some type of lawsuit. It's crazy. And I already know 2025 going to be something else. Why? Because the Diddy trial happens in 2025. I think from May on down, probably even before, it's going to be a circus. A circus. Oh, you know, Felicia, you said not drop them. It's giving Jonathan Majors. I don't know what to think about this one because she got some receipts. She got some receipts. I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Then, honey, I will never understand a person, whether it's male or female, who enjoys forced relations. You making somebody be intimate with you, I don't know how that's enjoyable. That's crazy to me. And why do you need that much power over someone? Well, I bring that up because the NYPD, they got issues. They got issues right now. The head of the NYPD, the chief in charge, was they said he was a predator and everybody knew. They said he was a whole predator. And listen, the people was raking it in for, I want to be careful with the words. If he was using you, you was raking in the cash. One of the people calling him a predator, she made $200,000 in overtime. There's people whose salary is nowhere near $200,000. She made $200,000 in overtime. Another one of his people that say he's a predator, she made $300,000. And this story is tangled, is convoluted. We got to dissect it because the one of them that made the $200,000 in overtime, and listen, let's check this out. Her salary was $200K, and then she made $200K in overtime. She wants to tell us now that she has a history of being emmed when she was younger. He took advantage of her because she was a single mother, and she came to him and said, I'm losing my house. My house is about to go in foreclosure, so forth and so on. And she said, he told her, don't worry about it. You like a sister to me. So you do all the overtime you want. Let me run this again. The same theme I run all the time. I don't care if you're a single mother of 1, 3, 10, or 15. Find yourself a studio apartment, work a job. The kid's going to be all right. You know, at the end of the day, kids, they want things, but what they want more over things is the love of their parent or parents. That's all they really want. They're going to remember more the time y'all was in the park playing ball, kicking ball, running after each other over a sneaker shoe, a game of bike, or some birthday party. I believe it. They don't know it now, but that's what they're going to remember more. When you hugged them, when you kissed them, when you told them you loved them. That's what they're going to remember more. I would have let my house go in foreclosure before I sold my mind, body, and soul to the devil. So now you are, here she is. She had to resign. Now her name is all over the streets as to they're looking into this $200K overtime. So you stand to lose everything now anyway. But now you're losing your reputation. You done lost your dignity. And you had to do stuff with a man you don't even like. And with all of this money, I hope the home is paid off. Because you risked everything. I promise you that home would have had to go in foreclosure. And you know what? There are a lot of what do you call it? There's a lot of programs out there for the single parents. Yes, it is. But you got to be willing to dig and look. You got to look. So when I read to y'all, and I'm gonna give you a trigger warning right now, is she got a lot of detail. I don't even have the lawsuit. This is in the article. In the article, she has a lot of detail. So hold on tight to your seat. And if you think this is going to be a trigger for you, because both stories have some similarities, then y'all maybe want to see me tomorrow night. Because there's a lot going on in both of these stories. And we got to talk about it. And both of them involve work situations. Now, all the ladies that the chief took advantage of, they all tell a backstory of how, they had trauma in their life. Now, this is not diva talking. I'm trying to be careful with my words, and I'm really being careful with my words because I know a lot of people get very sensitive to things. But you know what? I'm the type of chick that you got to, so people hear and don't make these same mistakes. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you grew up what they call middle class. I don't care if you grew up what they call dirt stinking poor. I don't care. If you run into anyone, their childhood wasn't trauma-free. It was not. It was not. We all went through stuff. We all had issues. And you want to know why we all have them? Because you can have one experience in the same room with 10 people, and all 10 of those people will view that experience differently. Trust me, you could tell your friend, you'd be like, you know what, watch this movie, and y'all both watch the same exact movie. When y'all come back to talk about it, it won't be the same exact experience. Matter of fact, there's going to be some scenes you're going to be like, that did happen? I must have fell asleep real quick. What you said? I don't remember that. Yeah, that was funny. No, that wasn't funny to me. We could all be in the same room and have a different experience. We could all be at the same workplace and have a different experience. Perception. Come on, Emmanuel. Perception. So there's not too many people that can't say they lived a trauma-free childhood. So what is Diva saying? I'm saying this. As an adult, and you have some health insurance, see a therapist. Even if you don't think you have trauma, sit down and talk to somebody. It's no excuse when you got a job and your salary is $200K a year. and you don't call 1-800-therapist? I can't do this with you. Especially now when literally you do not have to leave your home. You can have a Zoom call with a therapist. Yes, you can. Talk to them right on the computer. Tell them all your problems, all your trauma, and tell them the situation you're going through. And they're going to help walk you through it and give you the tools to start to think about making better and decisions moving forward. We all got trauma. But the thing is, what are you going to do with it and about it? Are you going to say year after year, you still talking about the same thing over and over again? You still talking the same problems? Come on now, Raheem. If you can't manage $200K a year, your childhood ain't the problem. Your adulting is an issue. It's the issue. But I promise you this. If my boss was trying to make me do sexual favors and I didn't want to, I'm sorry, I'm going to be at Target. But there's no way my boss is going to be bending me over in the office. I cannot. And they said it was a known secret. Everybody knew this man was a predator. I would have been collecting information and suing everybody. Yeah, some people do like pity parties. It's a mess. Come on, Irene, all of us. We all come from some type of dysfunctional household. Call a therapist. Work it out. Change your life. Listen, people, I done yapped enough and I already came on late. So y'all know what I need in that chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics. We got 4 days and it's going to be Christmas, okay? The trending topics is called Hot Mess. We got Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And we got the New York police scandal, Jeffrey Maddrey. We're going to get into it. Let me bring the people on in the building. Come on now. Hold on one second. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Hey, my opinion. Hey, chat. Choo choo choo.
Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel.
Listen, y'all, we're going to do first this Blake Lively story. It's a lot. This Justin seems to be messy. They did, and it's a shame that professionals were called in, but it seems as if the professionals were kind of on his side. It is real messy. Let me see which, so many articles I had. I want to make sure I bring up the right one. Let me see if I see this one. Is this the one I want? Okay, let me see. Let me just make sure this is the one I want because there's so many. No, this is not the one I want. Give me a minute. Let's go. Hold on one second. It's so many. I'm trying to get the one, so I only read one that has the bulk of the information. So let's go to this one. So here we go. Everything Blake Lively claims in complaint against Justin: unwanted kissing, watching her naked in the smear campaign. Now, they did this movie together called It Ends With Us. It came out August of this year. It is now on Netflix. I thought a very good movie. But in August, when the movie came out, people were complaining that they was trying to romanticize domestic violence because the movie's about domestic violence. Blake Lively seemed to not be being nice and doing the press conferences and all of that. but she said there's a reason behind, the way she was acting. And now here it is. She's suing him. As a result of her lawsuit, just a few hours ago, his agency dropped him. So Baldoni's lawyers disputes the allegations, calling Lively's lawsuit an attempt to fix her negative reputation. So Blake Lively has accused Justin of inappropriate behavior on the set of It Ends With Us and sued him for sexual harassment in a subsequent smear campaign. Months after rumors of a feud between the co-stars swirled online, Lively 37 alleges a newly filed complaint that Justin 40, who also directed the film, exhibited disturbing and unprofessional behavior on set, and that the film and wrap deployed an extensive retaliatory smear campaign against her. The complaint was filed against not only Justin, but also the film's lead producer, Jamie Heath, as well as Justin's production company, Wave Forest Studios, and its co-founder, Steve. It was also filed against Jed Wallace, Melissa Nathan, and Jennifer Abel, each of whom are named in the alleged effort to tarnish Lively's reputation earlier this year. Brian Freeman, Justin's lawyer, told People in a statement that Lively's complaint was to fix her negative reputation. He also said that her allegations are false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious with an intent to publicly hurt. Freeman also alleged that Lively caused issues during the filming of the movie, including threatening to not show up to set, threatening to not promote the film, ultimately leading to its demise during release. Okay. That is a scene from the film. Let me know in the chat, did you see it on Netflix? I did see it. So Justin added gratuitous sexual content after Lively signed onto the film, the complaint alleges. Lively allegations date back to before the adaptation of Colleen's Hoover novel began filming, and before a meeting was held to put safeguards in place where Justin and Heath were concerned. Among her claims are that prior to shooting, Justin inserted improvised gratuitous sexual conduct and or scenes involving nudity into the film, including for an underage character in highly unsettling ways. These changes and additions was included a scene in which Miss Lively was to orgasm on camera, and detailed scene of the younger version of Lively's character, Lily Bloom, losing her virginity that was not in the novel, were added without the actress' consent after she signed on to the film, according to the complaint. When Lively objected to these additions, Justin insisted he had added them because he was making the film through the female gaze, the complaint alleges. Though he ultimately agreed to remove the scenes, the director allegedly tried to keep one in which Lily and Justin's character, Rael, orgasmed on their wedding night, which he said was important to him because he and his partner climaxed simultaneously during intercourse. He also intrusively asked Lively whether she and her husband, the actress is married to Ryan Reynolds, also climaxed simultaneously during intercourse, a matter Lively found invasive and declined to discuss with him, according to the complaint. Justin improvised kisses and inquired about Lively's sex life, according to the complaint. During the intimate scenes that made it into the final script, Justin also improvised physical intimacy that had not been rehearsed, choreographed, or discussed with Miss Lively with no intimacy coordinator involved, the complaint alleges. One such improvisation, the complaint claims, occurred when Justin discreetly bit, oh my goodness, and sucked on Miss Lively's lower lip during a scene in which he improvised numerous kisses on each take, a scene he insisted on shooting over and over again. During another scene, a slow dance between Lily and Rael, that's the characters, that required no sound, for Justin, speaking as himself, leaned forward and slowly dragged his lips from her ear down her neck as he said, "It smells so good," the complaint alleges. Justin was caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with their roles. The complaint alleges, adding that when Lively later objected to his behavior, Justin responded by telling her, "I'm not even attracted to you." Following a meeting between Lively, Justin, producers, and Ryan Reynolds in January 2024, the studio agreed an intimacy coordinator would be on set for all scenes involving nudity in or simulated sex, and there would be no more improvising of kissings, according to the complaint. The complaint claims Justin and Heath shared their own personal sexual experiences without consent. Disturbing behavior like this continued into filming. According to the complaint, which alleges that both Justin and Heath shared their own personal sexual experiences and at times pressured Lively to reciprocate. During the scene in which Lively gives birth, Justin and Heath suddenly pressure Miss Lively to simulate full nudity despite no mention of nudity for the scene in the script. Her contract or in previous creative discussions, the complaint alleges. The birth scene, for which Lively was mostly nude, with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia, was also utterly lacking in standard industry protections, the complaint claims. The complaint also alleges that he showed both Lively and her on-set assistant a graphic and fully nude video of his wife giving birth, which Lively initially thought was P, without consent. It also alleges that the two men invaded Lively's privacy by repeatedly entering her trailer unannounced when she was undressed. When Lively tried to meet with Heath to discuss Justin's unprofessional behavior on the second day of filming, the complaint alleges he arrived unannounced at Lively's makeup trailer while she was topless and having body makeup removed by makeup artists. After Lively said they could meet once she was clothed, he insisted she allow him to enter, and she reluctantly agreed, but asked that Mr. Heath keep his back turned, but allegedly noticed minutes later that the producer was staring directly at her while she was topless. Baldoni, Justin, and Heath displayed a shocking lack of boundaries, physical and in conversation, the complaint alleges. As filming continued, both Justin and Heath exhibited a shocking lack of boundaries by entering the actress' trailer uninvited while she was undressed or vulnerable, including when she was breastfeeding her infant child, the complaint alleges. Both Justin and Heath spoke often of their previous P addiction and also shared their past sexual relationships in a way that Lively found disrespectful and disturbing, the complaint alleges. In one instance, during a car ride with Lively, her assistant, and a driver, the director said he was SA'd by an ex-girlfriend, which he has since spoken about publicly, but allegedly admitted to engaging in conduct without consent in a past relationship. Did I always ask for consent? No. Did I always listen when they said no? No. Justin allegedly said during the car ride, which ended with Lively driver saying that he did not want her to be left alone with the director in the future. Justin and he also constantly hugged and touched the "It Ends With Us" cast and crew, and when Lively or anyone else avoided the contact, they would retaliate by becoming irritated, cold, and uncollaborative, the complaint alleges. At one point, Justin also claimed he could speak to the dead, telling Lively on several occasions that he had spoken to her recently deceased father, according to the complaint. The complaint alleges Justin both sexualized Lively and criticized her appearance. Justin often referred to women in the workplace as sexy, the complaint alleges. In one alleged incident, the director pressured Lively to remove her coat to reveal her onesie, which she's had partially unzipped to reveal her bra in a packed setting, and told her, I think you look sexy," in a tone that made her feel ogled and exposed. In addition to his alleged comments toward Lively, the complaint also alleges that Justin went out of his way to message criticisms of her age and weight, including voicing worries that she looked old and unattractive based on paparazzi photos from the set. He also routinely degraded Lively by finding back-channel ways of criticizing her body and weight, including calling her trainer less than 4 months after she gave birth to her fourth child behind her back and implying that he wanted her to lose weight in 2 weeks, the complaint alleges. The complaint also claims that Justin and Heath deliberately withheld from Lively that she had been exposed to COVID in an onset outbreak that led to herself and her then infant child contracting this illness. A set of protections designed to cease Justin and Heath onset behavior was instituted. Filming for It Ends With Us went on pause during the writer's strike last year, but before it was set to resume, Lively laid out her complaints about the director and producer and their invasive, unwelcome, unprofessional, and sexually inappropriate behavior during a January 2024 meeting. The result of the all-hands meeting held to address the hostile work environment that had nearly derailed production prior to the strike was a list of 30 protections, including 17 that were designed to require the production company to cease the on-set behavior of Mr. Justin and Mr. Heath per the complaint. Among the protections were no more improvising of kissing and no more personal physical touching of or sexual comments by Justin or Mr. Heath to be tolerated by Blake Lively in or any of her employees, as well as any female cast or crew without their express consent. Upon receiving the list, the company, which is co-owned by Justin, said in part, although our perspective differs in many aspects, ensuring a safe environment for all is paramount, irrespective of differing viewpoints. Regarding your outline requests, we find most of them not only reasonable, but also essential for the benefit of all parties involved. The complaint alleges that Justin instigated a smear campaign against Lively. He wants to feel like she can be buried. The complaint alleges that ahead of It Ends With Us premiere in August, Justin fearing that Lively would go public with her negative onset experiences, brought on a team to protect his reputation and turn people against her, as evidenced by private texts and emails included in the complaint. To safeguard against the risk of Miss Lively ever revealing the truth about Justin, the Baldoni Wayfarer team created, planned, amplified, and boosted content designed to eviscerate Miss Lively's credibility, the complaint alleges. They engaged in the same techniques to boost Mr. Justin's credibility and suppress any negative content about him. In one exchange between Abel, a public relations executive, and Nathan, a crisis management expert, Abel relays Justin's frustration with the team's initial plans for the alleged smear campaign. According to the exhibits filed with the complaint, I think you guys need to be tough and show the strength of what you guys can do in these scenarios. Abel told Nathan of the actor. He wants to feel like she can be buried. That is him. That's Blake Lively. Of course, but when we send over documents, we can't send over the work we will or could do because this could get us in a lot of trouble, Nathan replied. And in other texts, she allegedly added, we can write, we will destroy her. And imagine if a document saying all of the things that he wants ends up in the wrong hands. Other texts show that Justin's team were reveling in their success after shutting down reports of his alleged inappropriate behavior on set, with Nathan saying in October that Justin doesn't realize how lucky he is right now. In his statement, Justin's lawyer Freeman asserted that representatives of Wayfarer Studios did nothing proactive nor retaliated and only responded to incoming media inquiries to ensure balance and factual reporting and monitor social activity. What is pointedly missing from the cherry-picked correspondence is the evidence that there were no proactive measures taken with media or otherwise, just internal scenario planning and private correspondence to strategize, which is standard operating procedure with public relations professionals. After the complaint was filed, Lobby said in a statement to the New York Times, I hope that my legal action helps pull back the curtain on these sinister retaliatory tactics to harm people who speak up about misconduct and help protect others who may be targeted. Ooh. She spoke up in real time. You know, a lot of times we wonder why people wait a long time, like 10, 20, 30 years to say anything. She spoke up in real time. She has what I'm going to consider some receipts here. He seems very messy to me. This is what it's seeming like. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So he saw that her reputation was a little problematic. And he decided that, hey, since she had all these issues with what he was doing, his bad behavior, he was going to smear her. And she was like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like, it felt like he just kept on going and going and going. And we all know that these contracts, if she had canceled her contract, she would have been held liable and she would have had to bear the cancellation of that contract. And usually those be millions of dollars that don't nobody want to cough up if they don't have to. I feel like it's a violation. I feel like he did all this stuff and he didn't want her to talk. So in order for her not to talk, he was just gonna badmouth her in the public.
Mm.
And I feel like he should go down for this. And the reason why his agency dropped him is because of these text messages and emails that she presented.
Thank you. In my opinion, yes, I agree with you. Savannah, your thoughts?
Diva, I like you saw the movie, and I actually thought it was a good movie, or it is a good movie. I wouldn't have known of the rift that existed. When I suggested the movie to my daughter, she informed me about the controversies that were surrounding this film that started sometime this summer. But it was more on a social media backlash on Blake Lively, as she was downplaying and glamorizing DV, and not on tension between the two stars. I went back and researched some articles, and I see where she was receiving some backlash because she was being very dismissive and had more of a mean girl attitude towards the message of the movie being uh, how they glamorized or romanticized uh, DV in a relationship, and how she excused it and didn't think anything of it, although she witnessed her mother going through what she was now experiencing. So I have um, some questions because I knew there was tensions with her inviting Ryan to the set, and while they were filming, and Ryan Reynolds, her husband, was took it upon himself to start directing some scenes, and that got under Bernal, the director, the guy here. I can't say his name either. His that cause started causing also some tension between them because Ryan Reynolds, and I love Ryan Reynolds. He's a bigger star than both of them, and he started directing some scenes on the set, and more importantly, directing her. So I have more questions than answers for this, and why now? Because Blake has had a reputation of being um, a mean girl, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch her on Gossip Girls. I knew her of hanging out in the Taylor Swift crew.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she's besties with Taylor Swift, and she has that reputation of being a mean girl
Hmm.
off set and off camera. But she's a gorgeous woman, and I think she did great in the film. But I think there's other things here that are not being said and that are missing in this story. So I have more questions.
Yeah. I Ooh, sneaking in the extra kisses. And I thought, remind me, Samantha, but I thought they did show that she lost her virginity as a young girl in this movie. They did keep that in the movie. Um,
They did with
yeah,
the young man that was homeless
yep,
that she snuck in the house.
yep.
So yes, ma'am,
Because the
they
dad beat him
did show that.
up. Remember, the dad beat
That
her dad
yes,
up. So
absolutely.
yeah, I could see. I don't know the industry to know that how much liberty if you sign up, if you look at you read the script and you sign up to do the movie, and then later on, I imagine to some degree you should be able to change things. But I can also imagine that, okay, maybe if I agree to 2 nudity scenes and now you want 10, that could be a little bit messy. And him sneaking in these extra kisses, and then him also wanting to film over and over and over again, some kissing scenes. And I thought also that an intimacy coach had to be on set every time you had said scenes. I didn't know that it was an option. She seems to have a lot of receipts, and he seems to be really messy from what we heard. I would love to hear his side of the story, so we can judge. But right now, based upon all the information I have, I'm definitely giving him the side eye, and this doesn't look good. And I believe what she's saying. And so the hard part is when you do have a reputation and your reputation is not that good, and then you come up and say something, it's like, okay, but it gets back to like, oh, but this person has a bad reputation. And that's what Diddy is kind of facing. Yeah, you got a bad reputation, but does that mean that nothing that comes out your mouth is true, and that everything everybody's saying about you is true also? Katrina, your thoughts? Are you there, Katrina? If you're talking, we can't hear you. I see you off of mute. Okay, I'm not quite sure what's going on with Katrina there, but I'm gonna
Can
go
you hear
ahead.
me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, both of them some sick puppies. I mean, I'm sorry. I know they have to live up their obligations with these contracts and stuff. But if you
Mhm.
got all the information that she say that she has, I would have just quit. And if he would have fired you, it'd been wrong for termination. Especially when you saying that you being harassed. He's walking in on you, seeing that you're topless. He's saying he getting in extra kisses. He kissing you from your ear down to your neck, and that's not supposed to be in there.
Mhm.
So if that case, I would just had to quit. And if you want to fire me or take me to court, I just bring all these documents and the documentations and everything in there to let them know why you can't sue me, because I'm not finna keep working no job and I feel like I'm being harassed. That's crazy, especially when, like Savannah, in my opinion, said, I don't know her reputation or anything like that, but me myself personally, if he's doing all this stuff to you, telling you that you have to have these orgasms and stuff like that, I know you read the script, but he want to put in more stuff, and then you can go back and say, "Well, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I signed up for." Yeah, I would change a couple of things, of course, but I'm not going to keep going through this. You keep doing more takes and more takes, and I got to keep kissing you, kissing you, kissing you. What are you doing? Are you making a film or is you making a P movie? I don't get it. I'm done. And if you want to sue me, we'll be in court. I wouldn't put myself through that and now suing after the movie is made. You should have stopped it. You should have stopped it right then and there. And then that way he would have made the movie and y'all said the movie and stuff is good. So you went along with it. You went along with this movie. So it's like I said, both of them some sick puppies. Because if you saying this man doing this, but you still going along with it, where's your morale? Your husband on the scene, he directing the movie. Uh-uh. This is some sick mess. Like I said, we'll see how it turns out. But like I said, both of them some sick puppies. That's all I got, Diva.
Ooh, Gwen said Blake's husband Ryan was the one rewriting scripts. I don't know enough to know. I do know this is messy. I don't know. But any job, whether the job is in entertainment or the job is in like Target, Walmart, or whatever, no one should be talking sex stuff and all of that online. No, I mean, I'm saying online at the job. Like, this is crazy. I'm gonna stay connected to the story. We're gonna see how it turns out, but already it's not turning out well for Justin, because Justin's agency dropped him. They dropped him. Now, I don't know how to feel about that either, because but we saw it happen with what is his name? We saw it happen with Jonathan Majors, right? But what happened to let's dig into this a little more before we drop you. But maybe, like, in my opinion, said, because they have the text messages, they was like, okay, we're done with him. So Justin Baldoni, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to mess with his essay. Dropped from his agency at the Blake Lively files bombshell sexual harassment lawsuit against him. So the agency dropped him. It ends with us. Director Justin has been dropped by his agency, WME, at the Blake Lively, accused him of sexual harassment in a recent lawsuit. RadioOnline.com, the decision called the decision to have the actor, director, producer drop was made Saturday, December 21st by agency's leadership. So the leadership of the agency said they dropped them. I'm thinking too that perhaps maybe they dropped them because they was having some issues before this, because it's to kind of not give them an opportunity. It seems a little crazy, right? Blake filed a 10-claim complaint late Friday with the California Civil Rights Department, accusing Justin, his production company, and others involved in It Ends With Us of sexual harassment in a coordinated effort to destroy her reputations. The allegations range from inappropriate remarks about Lively's weight to demands for changes in the script to limit explicit content. So we went through all of that already. I just wanted to come here and let you know that his agency did drop him. So I'm going to move on to the next story. But while I'm moving on to the next story, y'all can let me know in the chat, do you think that the agency should have dropped them, or do you think the agency should have waited until they kind of dug a little bit more into the situation and then drop them? Let me know your thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and roll into this next story. This next story, it's like so many layers to it. I don't even know where to start, but I guess I will start. Let's start with the one woman that came out and called him a predator. So let me start there. So he's a predator. NYPD lieutenant recalls horrifying sex demands of top cop Jeffrey Maddrey. And actually, you know what? Before I show this, Gwen, I appreciate you for your super chat. Let me see what you're saying. I do want to show a news conference. Justice Agency, WME, reps. Oh, Blake and Ryan too. The agency basically dropped him because Blake and Ryan asked them to, in my opinion. Well, Gwen, you just gave a whole nother layer to this situation. So they're all represented by the same agency. I can picture that. Just like allegedly he was trying to bully people to, what do you call it? To ruin her reputation. I guess they said, who do you want? Me or us or him? And Ryan Reynolds is a big deal. Thank you for that. I appreciate your super chat. Yeah, Hollywood is done. It's a whole hot mess going on right now, right, y'all? So, okay, let me share screen and let's do the press conference first of him resigning, and then I'll go into the article.
Him of demanding sexual favors in exchange for large amounts of overtime. An interim replacement has already taken Maddrey's place. Fox 5's Richard Jacobus is live right now at police headquarters in Lower Manhattan with this breaking story. Richard, what's going on there?
Arthur, he was New York City's top uniformed officer for 2 years, the chief of the largest police department in the country. But tonight, Jeffrey Maddrey has resigned from that position after sexual misconduct allegations were made against him by, like you said, a fellow subordinate who claimed she and Maddrey exchanged overtime for sexual favors. The disturbing allegations were made by a woman who holds an administrative position in Maddrey's office. She has filed a complaint against the city, claiming that Maddrey engaged in, quote, quid pro quo sexual harassment by coercing her to perform unwanted sexual favors in exchange for overtime opportunities in the workplace. The 51-year-old told the New York Post Maddrey would force her into the back room of his office where they had sex nearly a dozen times. Maddrey joined the police force in 1991 at the age of 20 and rose through the ranks to become chief of housing in 2021, then chief of patrol later that year before being promoted to chief of department in December of 2022. Mayor Eric Adams reacting this afternoon to these allegations.
Speaking with the NYPD team, the allegations are extremely concerning and alarming. The police commissioner is doing a full review of all personnel, but she's also doing a full review of this issue, and it just would be inappropriate for me to go into the details of these allegations, but it's currently under review.
In a statement to the New York Post, Maddrey's attorney said this is completely meritless and we denied every aspect of this. Meanwhile, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch says her department takes all allegations of sexual misconduct seriously and will thoroughly investigate this matter. Fox 5 has also reached out to Maddrey's attorney for a full statement, but we have not heard back. Chief of Patrol John Chell moves now into the position of interim chief of department, at least for now. We're live at police headquarters, Lower Manhattan. Richard Giacobas, Fox 5 News. Sorry.
What a hot mess. Okay, so now let me get into this story. Let me see. We're going to go here. Okay, let me go first. So he was a predator. NYPD lieutenant recalls horrifying sex demands of top cop Jeffrey Maddrey. So an NYPD lieutenant alleged in a harrowing detail how the department's hulking top cop preyed on her financial and emotional vulnerabilities to repeatedly sexually demean her in his police headquarters office, according to a new complaint. Now, let me just tell you about Lieutenant Cartisha Epps. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She resigned because they was looking into all of this overtime that she got paid for. So she resigned, and then after she resigned, now she is doing this complaint against the cop. So Letitia Epps was facing foreclosure and desperate to keep her home the first time Chief of Department Jeffrey Maddrey asked for sex. She claimed in an exclusive interview. He wanted to have, I'm going to say, backdoor sex. He wanted to have front door sex. He wanted to have oral sex, the mother of three said. He was always asking me to kiss his private area. Maddrey strongly denies Epps' claims. In one painful session, he bent her over a sofa in the 13th floor office, she claimed to the Post, sobbing. I kept asking him, can you please stop? Then I stopped asking him to stop. Can you please just slow down? You're hurting me. You're hurting me, she alleged. F51 recently made headlines for being NYPD's top earner at $400,000, which included more than $200,000 in overtime. The chief, the highest ranking uniformed cop on the force, demanded unwanted sexual favors in exchange for overtime opportunities. Between June 2023 and December 16, 2024, according to Equal Opportunity Employment Discrimination claim filed against the city Saturday. She alleged Maddrey also used what he knew about her past as an incest survivor to take advantage of her, according to the complaint. I think he's a predator, Epps said. He say, we're going to save your house like you're supporting me when you really just effing me. When he wasn't demanding sex, he was forcing Epps to do odd favors involving female officers, according to the complaint filed by her lawyer, Eric Sanders. The EEOC document is a precursor to a lawsuit. Maddrey ordered Epps to keep two mistresses apart because he didn't want them to know about each other, Epps claimed. Epps works as an administrator for Maddrey as he moved up in the NYPD from chief of housing to chief of patrol. But his alleged sexual demands didn't start until June 2023, when he became chief of department, responsible for the entire 36,000 member force, Epps alleged in the complaint. That's when she claims she confided in him that she was facing bankruptcy and foreclosure. He told me I could do whatever overtime I needed, she recalled. He told me I was like his sister. But Epps says the favors he demanded were anything but familial. He frequently sent her messages that said DAP. Where am I at? Slang for dat ain't P, which meant he wanted backdoor sex, Epps claimed. He would also come into her office and ask me to kiss it, she claimed in her complaint, a reference to his private area. He used to tell her all the time he was a wish and a command, and she would have to do what he said, she claims. He said, strip for me right now, Epps alleged. Bizarrely, he ordered her to pay for a vacation to Miami for Maddrey and his wife, Helen Epps claimed in her complaint. There was a trip that I paid for, $2,700, she recalled. He said, make it look like a gift. He has a whole script of what to say to his wife. He also allegedly asked her to give her family's Lower East Side apartment, which was in her kids' names, to a detective who worked for him. The first alleged sexual overture with Epps occurred in June 2023 when Maddrey was sitting at his desk with his uniform pants down, rubbing his chest through his white undershirt, Epps alleged. He said he dreamed of effing me in my back door, Epps claimed. I said, but chief, you're the chief of the department. He was like, but I'm still an N, and you look good. Then he asked her to go to the back room in his office where he has a couch in the bathroom, she said. He bent me over the arm of the couch, and when I tried to back away, he was telling me, just let me put it in a little, she claimed. Next, he reached into a locker near the couch and pulled out a jar of KY jelly from a top shelf in the back and rubbed it on himself, she alleged. When she asked him to slow down, he said in a soft voice, I'm not trying to hurt you, baby. I'm not trying to hurt you, she recalled. The two had sexual intercourse about 10 minutes after that, Epps alleged. Epps, who claims she was awed by relatives starting when she was 4, says she was afraid to tell anyone about Jeffrey. Who was I going to tell, she said. Who would believe me? The last alleged sexual encounter occurred on Monday after Epps went to Maddrey and said she wanted to retire following the post-exposure of her excessive overtime, according to the complaint. Maddrey told her he would ask the police commissioner, Jessica Kitts, on her behalf, but first he demanded that she kiss it, meaning his private area, according to the EEOC document. Epps, who felt she had no choice, complied under coercion, the complaint stated. She filed for retirement immediately after, marking accumulation of the severe emotional and professional harm inflicted upon her by Chief Maddrey's abuse of power. The department then suspended Epps and opened an investigation into her. Maddrey denies Epps' claims, with a convenient time to accuse somebody of misconduct after she's caught still in time, Maddrey's attorney said. She obviously drowning in the deep end of the pool without a lifesaver. She wants to take down as many people as she can. This is completely meritless, and we deny every aspect of it. That was a lot, but we got more. Let me just add one more thing. Hold on one second. Which one do I want to show? I think this one. Let's see. So NYPD's former top cop, Jeffrey Maddrey's years-long sexual abuse was an open secret, sources say. There's so many more of us. So she came out, the one young lady, and said she was taken advantage of, but they're saying there's many more and it was an open secret. In other words, everybody knew about it. Let's just play this really quickly and then I'll get more into it. That's the one, that's a picture of the one where I just read her story. So former NYPD Chief of Department Jeffrey Maddrey's alleged years-long sexual abuse and exploitation of women on the force was an open secret, according to police sources and accusers. The sex scandal rocking one police plaza busted open Saturday when the Post revealed salacious allegations from Lieutenant Quatisha Epps, 51, who accused Maddrey, 53, in a formal complaint of forcing her into a sexual relationship in exchange for staggering overtime windfalls. At least 2 other department women have accused Maddrey of wrongdoing. He's a predator, a police source who works at the NYPD headquarters told the Post of Maddrey. It's an open secret. Everyone knows who he is. Maddrey abruptly resigned before Epps' allegations were made public. He has denied all claims against him. So ex-police officer Tabitha Forster in 2016, former NYPD officer Tabitha Forster, 49, alleged in a federal lawsuit that Maddrey dragged her into a years-long affair that began while she was pregnant, and he was her supervisor at the 75th Precinct in East New York. It descended into physical and mental abuse, she claimed in court documents. Forster, who says she suffered from PTSD stemming from abuse when she was a child, claimed that Maddrey used knowledge of her marital problems and the trauma she suffered as a child to take advantage of her, according to the court docs. The charges are similar to the emotional manipulation Epps said she faced. At one point, Maddrey even said, "Crazy P is the best P," according to the Forster suit. In December 2015, when the pair met at a Queen's Park, Maddrey beat her and shoved her to the ground, prompting her to pull a pow-pow on him, she claimed in the litigation. After snatching it from her, Maddrey allegedly choked her before dismantling the firearm, according to court documents. Forster went public with the affair soon after, accusing Maddrey on Facebook of chasing pregnant married girls around the department, prompting an internal affairs investigation. Maddrey was ultimately disciplined internally for failing to alert a patrol supervisor that Forster pulled a firearm on him, with 45 vacation days docked. Okay, a Brooklyn federal judge dismissed Forster's case in 2019 at her request following irreconcilable differences between the former cop and her attorney, according to court records. She refiled the case in Manhattan Supreme Court last year, but the case was tossed in November. Forster could not be reached for comment. Maddrey denied Forster allegations in court documents. Captain Gabriel Walls. Just days before Maddrey's Friday night resignation, NYPD Captain Gabriel Walls saw a judge okay to add Maddrey as a defendant in a sexual harassment suit she filed in July against another NYPD chief, according to court records. "I prayed for this day every single day," Walls, 53, told the Post Saturday, adding she felt vindicated by the news of Maddrey's departure. "There's so many more of us that are out there that hopefully will come forward." Between 2015 and 2022, Maddrey repeatedly harassed Walls, including drunkenly trying to kiss her at parties and police functions and stopping by her command at the 88th Precinct, she claimed in court records. He basically kissed me at the parties and he would make the comments, I want you so bad. You smell so good, she told the Post. When Maddrey was stopped by the station house where Wall's then a lieutenant was assigned, she would hide from the alleged predator, according to the court docs. I had to hide in my office and turn off the light and close the door, she said. After she filed her suit, the 24-year-old NYPD, the 24-year NYPD veteran was transferred from her command in the 79th precinct to the 114th precinct in Queens. And she and her lawyer, John, said which they alleged was retaliation. Maddrey's attorney has not filed a response in court to the pending litigation. Unnamed detective. Epps alleged Maddrey ordered her to take care of another officer in the office of the chief of department's office. Epps had to help the female detective specialist with apartment hunting, during which she billed for overtime, the lieutenant said. Maddrey also ordered Epps to splurge on household items and other goods for the cop. She claimed the detective pulled down more than $150,000 in the fiscal year 2024, according to the See Through NY database. Maddrey went so far as to instruct Epps to hand over to the detective, whose name the Post is withholding, the keys to a third-floor NYCHA apartment on Elridge Street, where the lieutenant once lived and later was accompanied by other family members, Epps said. A neighbor said the detective moved into Epps' old apartment in October and has seen Maddrey in the building on several occasions. A man at the building Saturday confirmed the detective lives there. The detective did not answer the apartment door. Unidentified detective, Maddrey had an inappropriate sexual relationship with another woman in his office, X alleged in the EEOC complaint. The unidentified woman made north of $300,000 last year, according to the records. When you're making that type of money and then you need to be in a subsidized apartment, that's part of why people who really need things, they can't get it, because we got all of these scammers out here. I know that was a lot of information. I know this story is loaded. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's like I I cannot. I don't understand these people. I don't. You can't go along with it and
Mm,
then come back on the back end and say, "Whoa,
mm,
it's me after you done got caught."
mm,
Because it seems like that's what happened. They did
mhm,
an investigation into her, and then she want to say, "Well, I've had to sleep with him for 12 times, and he knew because I was. This was done to me when I was a kid, and he's a predator." Well, he's a predator. Then what are you?
mm,
You let this man prey on you.
mm,
Why you still had to work for those overtime hours?
mm.
So you still didn't get nothing. I think this is a sad case, and I think this is a sad world. If this is what women are doing now, you lowering your standards for a little cash. It's a sad play, man. I'm gonna let these people keep doing what they do, though, Diva, because that's what they do. So good luck.
Good luck. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah. My thoughts are, you said that this man was doing this to you all this time. You didn't want to tell anybody. You didn't want nobody to know who was going to believe you. But yet still, you was still getting that overtime pay. So you was getting paid to be his slave, his sex slave, basically. Why not just go out and get another job to supplement your income if you about to lose your house? And I'm not saying that she could have got on the program where they have like people getting ready to lose their homes. They have like this organization called home for rent. I'm not home for rent, but home for loss or something like that. It's different things that she could have looked into to keeping her home. She could have got another job. She didn't have to be there doing all this. You was there doing this all this time, but then when you got caught up, you want to tell it.
Mm,
You could have told her before now, so you weren't supposed to believe you now. So what's the difference between now and then? Now, then you was getting paid. Now you're not. So that's why you're telling your story, because you're not going to get that extra $200,000, which is ridiculous. But he allowed it to happen, so I don't think she should be punished for getting the overtime, because he had to approve it. So it should fall back on him and not her. But yet still, both of them was in there being low down and sneaky and just grimy. And he got a wife, and then he doing this with you and all this. I hope they was using protection. I don't know. These are most sick puppies. Like I said, you tell it now because you done lost your job. You should have been told if you didn't want to do it. And speaking from people that been molested and all that, been sorry, Diva, been and stuff, and they don't speak out or whatsoever, and he knows that that's what your situation was. That situation, you make sure that you didn't want to be touched. So like I said, he getting what he deserved. And like I said, she worked to play, and she got paid for doing what she was doing. Basically, baby, he was telling you that you was H, a WH, and you fell for it. You did it because you need the extra money, but you could have went out and got more jobs. You didn't have to you subject yourself to those situations unless you wanted to, because you could have been stopped this, but the money was looking too good, and now you want to turn on him where you could have turned on him before now. So I want to feel sorry for you, but I can't, because of the situation you put yourself in. Now you want to tell it because you lost your job. I'm sorry. I want to feel sorry for you, but because you could have stopped this a long time ago. But that's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Felicia, you in the building? Any thoughts?
Well, good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy holidays. I'm so glad they got that predator off the streets and out of that uniform. To God the glory. I'm thinking about what it's alleged that he has done on the job. So I can only imagine what he's done on these New York City streets. How many women he has assaulted and stopped on the street with that badge and that gun and have threatened them. He's an animal. He's an animal. He's requesting A sex, this sex, O sex, and you at work? You bending people over, crooked, sideways. You going from the 5th floor to the 11th floor to the 19th floor. That's why he had to resign today. Not tomorrow and not yesterday, but today. I hope he loses all of his money in his pension. I hope they revoke the whole package. I hope he can't get any benefits. I hope the marriage is over, finished. And I want him to have to register as a predator, an offender. He's abused his power on the job, and I'm confident in the street. Now, let me get to these 3 working hoes here, okay? These women who I had a mortgage and a foreclosure. One of them is a 3-time cancer survivor. The other one is a 2-time bankruptcy survivor. Listen, when you're righteous,
come on.
When you want to have some kind of honor and dignity, because I don't know of any job, because let's talk about Blake Lively here. I don't care where you work.
Come on.
I don't care what you're doing.
Woo woo.
There's always somebody coming up to you, wanting to debase you, to create a scenario that is going to separate you from the God you believe in.
Come on.
That wants to take your morality, take your honor, take your dignity and your respect, because you're making the hamburgers too slow. You didn't type the paper fast enough. You didn't close out the customer fast enough. Every job has this situation. So yes, she got called out because she made all this money. Well, I guess she thought that the gravy train would never end. I guess he thought they would never come to me because I'm making less than the hoe on the job. But the reason I'm really angry with her is because she is what I have referred to in the past as a honeypot. So she comes to you, Diva, on the job. You trying to pay the son's tuition. You trying to make your car note. And she tell you the boss want to come talk to you. He all right. Don't worry. And you go up there and you find out that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, your job is now jeopardized.
Come on.
But she says she don't know who to go to. All these people, but you knew to go to the EEOC on a Friday?
Oh,
Come on, kid girl. Don't play with me.
Come on.
You went to the EEOC on Friday and got your $2 attorney, Eric Sanders, on Thursday.
But before that, hold on, Felicia, I'm gonna let you finish. But before that, when you was cashing those 200,000, 400,000 checks, you didn't know who to talk to.
No, but I'm going to tell you why this is really going down. Because Jessica Tish is in the house. She is the new police commissioner, and she comes from a very wealthy family, and she didn't come up through the ranks, and she's letting you know you ain't got to be on your knees. And we ain't going to be paying you with city tax dollars anymore. So we had Ingrid resign last week, Sunday. Okay. They had her do the perp walk out here. She was looking good, but she still had the handcuffs on. All right. Then we had top cop. They calling her administrative. What a lie. Okay. 3-time cancer survivor. God bring you through all of that and you on your knees and cutting your butt up for this. Talking about giving your kid a house and stability. And you brought in 3 of your co-workers to do more harm to. I ain't got grace or pity for none of them. And I want my hardworking tax dollars to be protecting me on these streets. Because I work honorably for my money. And I will go without the so-called status to keep my honor and my dignity and my righteousness. So all of them can go to the jail. As I've said many times, what these folks getting for Christmas? Indicted. See ya. I'm done, Diva.
Well, you dropped the mic. There we go.
Amen.
Amen. The past the collection plate. I'm trying to tell you, she ain't know who to go to. Didn't know who to call. But all of a sudden, when they said they came into that overtime,
Alicia came in and hit the mic. Okay, girlfriend, came in late, but you brought in a lot of stuff.
Figured out who to talk to. Hold on now, Katrina. Savannah, you're up.
Diva, that's not fair. Well, Merry Christmas to all and to all a good night, because there is nothing else to be said. I love you, Felicia.
Listen, where is the self-respect with our people these days? Where is it? Where is it? She didn't know who to find, who to look for when she was making $400,000 in 1 year, $200,000 in overtime, putting the time on the clock, and then you got an apartment in your kid's name, and no employee.
And she's a lieutenant.
Come on now. That's what I was getting ready to say. No state employee is supposed to have those apartments. And you most certainly don't need a subsidized apartment anymore when you raking in, forget the overtime, when you raking in $200,000 a year. There's people who really need this apartment, who really need it. And you gaming the system. Talking about the apartment was in somebody else's name and he made you give it to one of his other chicks. And the chick to this day is still living in the apartment. Let me tell you right now, as soon as she would have resigned, I don't care if I would have had to live on the street. I would have abandoned that apartment. No way when the news came to knock on that door, they would have said, I'm living there. They would have said, I live there. And we saw her moving out in the middle of the night. And they confirmed that he was going to the building. Just the whole stupidity. This man was married and y'all let him stick his nasty ping in you. And several of them. And now they want us to feel Trump. They want us to feel bad. They sold themselves to the devil and they want us to give them a refund. Come on, gross increase matters. Paying for trips to Miami. And then you complain about this $2,700 trip he made you pay for. Well, you done stole $200,000 in overtime. $2,700 is a drop in the bucket. This is stupid. In the office, on the job, having sex. The other one said she was hiding. She turned off the lights and was hiding when that man came. What is disgusting self? I'm telling you right now, the minute he would have even looked at me at the party, trying to come up on me, I would have been done. I wouldn't even have signed up to be a security guard nowhere. I would have changed my whole profession. And they said it was an open secret that everybody knew. So let me just back this up before I close out and say this. This woman said everybody knew. There was other complaints where he got a slap on his hand. He got to take 45 days of vacation when one of the cases was found out about, right? So they don't want to back to is everybody knew it was an open secret. And everybody that allowed this to go down, just like I said in the Diddy case, they need to be resigning and go down too. It's a mess. They making that's our tax dollars. That's the tax dollars right there. We know at the very low end, and you know there was more, at the very low end in this one story, we know of 2 people raking in the cash. How many $300,000 jobs they got over there? I mean, go look on the NYPD site. And these were not cops and detectives. $300,000 a year? She made $400,000 in 1 year? She clocked in overtime when she helped the other mission and then had to buy stuff for her? Let me see what Lakeisha said. Diva, it's like that doctor who was walking around the office naked and they all knew and no one said anything. That part. I'm not doing all this with this stuff. I don't know if it was a union job. I don't know. But you know, Felicia made the best point. She didn't know who to call, who to tell. Nobody was going to believe her. But the minute she had to resign because they was looking into that overtime, all of a sudden she know about the EEOC.
Well, absolutely, Diva. And the other thing that has truly changed is there is a new police commissioner. Her name is Jessica Tisch. She is not a former police officer. She did not come up through the ranks. She is the one that brought in that alleged killer of the CEO. He's about business. And she's cleaning house. And she told Jeffrey, if you're not gone today, we'll make sure you're out by tomorrow. It's time for all of them to go. And he thinks by resigning, he's going to hold on to his pension? No. She thinks by her resigning and retiring, she's going to hold on to her pension? No. So calling the people out because you was doing all those egregious, dishonorable whole things at work is not going to save your pension.
Well, then there's that. Wayne, you're in the building. Anything you want to say before we close out?
Excuse me. I just wanted to say that people think that, when victims, so-called, come forth, and if you don't agree with them, it's victim shaming. We're in an age now where people, I'm not saying it hadn't happened well in the past, but people coming up 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, that they've been assaulted. Okay, that's sad. But how many of these cases are we hearing that it was a lie? Okay, so are we supposed to believe your mouth is a prayer book because you said it happened, and we supposed to be all teary-eyed? You get tired of hearing these stories, and you get caught up in them and feel, oh my God, that was sad. Oh, that person was a monster. They did this, oh that, and come to find out they lied. And here you done got your emotions involved. Oh, that's sad, whatever. And they lie. And people expect that every time somebody comes forth, I was assaulted 30 years ago. Don't have no evidence. It's your word against theirs. So why is it victim shaming just because you may not believe it or it doesn't sound right, and the pieces of the puzzle ain't coming together? So we supposed to be all arms wide open. Baby, I'm so sorry it happened to you. No, save it for your mama.
Oh my.
I said, save it for your mama. Because all these people that's lying, coming forth, they crying and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 and total liars. Liars. So I'm not believing all these people that come forth, I'm not believing that. I'm not saying Diddy not a bad person, but maybe he did 50% of the stuff, but don't mean he did 100% of the stuff. So the people coming forth, people, I don't care. People can say it's victim shaming or whatever. Happened 20, 30 years ago. You don't have no evidence. You ain't told nobody. The people that did know are now passed away. And we supposed to believe this BS story totally on your words.
Oh.
No. Before I start believing, you got to start showing me something. If it's your word against the perpetrator's word, you need to have some receipts showing something that this did happen. It's not fair for you to come back 20, 30 years later with no evidence and say, this person did this to me. And you can't prove it. And we're supposed to look at you as the victim. Not happening.
Ooh, but it is that.
Well, Wayne, the mamas don't want to hear neither.
Listen, y'all, it's a lot. It's a lot. I appreciate y'all doing this late train with me. It was a late train. It was a serious topic. And I'm going to stay connected to the stories, to both stories. But I think in terms of the cop, in terms of the one lieutenant that made the $400,000 in 1 year, I don't know how this is going to end well for either one of them. And then we got the other one that got locked up. Son got locked up. And she says she 35 years in the game and she innocent. Just because you have longevity in the career don't mean that your longevity proves that you not telling no lies. If the math ain't math, and whether you did 10 years, 5 years, 2 or 1, or 35, the math ain't mathing. Okay? Listen, everybody. Y'all know what to do. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in the building, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Thanks for being here for Trending Topics. I'll see y'all next time.